the shit looking good for a reason. Like when you break down the lay of the land, like
See if Reason got through all of the TDE drama, some of it's still going.
All right, so I really did enjoy the album. I don't know if you guys want to give like, I don't know when we usually give our ratings like towards the end, but I felt like this was more of like a personal album. Uh, though his style on this album, kind of like the only word I kind of can describe it was like melancholy. But it seemed like it was more of a deep personal album to him. Again, I don't know with all the drama going on with TDE and everything, but it seems like there was songs that were supposed to be on the album that weren't, and then and songs that were not supposed to be on the album that were. But I think it kind of meshed really well together. I don't really see this album as much of like a radio album, which Reason overall isn't like a radio artist, but this album for sure felt more personal than anything else. It's definitely up there with it for me, up there with his last album. How he goes in and out of pockets in this album is also really surprising to me because he's never been the type to me to he goes off, but like not you get like not just like just go completely off, if that makes sense. But again, like it almost, when we listened to that interview with what's the podcast that he was on called?
back on Fig.
Yeah, it kind of steered my direction in another way in terms of like how I listened to it. I enjoyed, not saying that there is no skips on the album, but every song I thoroughly enjoyed. It was a very easy listen. His rhyme schemes are very they can be complex, but they're at the same time they're very like they're very direct, if that makes sense. But overall I really did enjoy the album. It's just tough. It's just tough because I don't think they give this dude a chance to what he's really capable of. I even on this album, I truly do believe like he's capable of more. And I don't know exactly what's going on over there in that camp, but yeah, man, like I felt like there still was something missing. Like there still was a heavy hitter song that was missing off the album. I felt like he was still in a sense holding back. But I think that's because to me, this album was more on a personal level for him. But yeah, man, I thoroughly did enjoy the album from front to how many songs was it?
17 or 19?
17. I was gonna say 19. But I mean, from front to back,
Yeah,
even it kind of even how it reminded me of the Travis Scott album, the one we reviewed last time. The ending was just so like the ending just kept me wanting like, okay, more, like I can't, like almost like, okay, I can't wait till he drops a new project. So overall very easy listen. The complexity was there, but it hit very direct. Yeah, man, to me Reason doesn't miss. He just doesn't. It's almost he's incapable of missing, even when he's not at his full potential. So, but yeah, man, I really did enjoy the album.
Yeah, what did you think, Jason?
Shit, I really enjoyed this album. I kind of, I know we were supposed to record early, so it gave me a little more time to sit with it. He's really good. So, and it really made me think about like, damn, I wonder what it would be like if Reason came out before Kendrick or before all the TDE guys, like, and the thing that, like, just the whole thing that TDE's built of just these high caliber artists we got, and how we just already have high expectations for these guys, how they find these guys and build them up. So that's just kind of crazy in itself. Like, these are the guys that are following the Black hippie. Like, when you really got to think about that, you following Kendrick Lamar. hard. Like there's always that kind of pressure to just, so the fact that like all these second generation TDE guys like can deliver like that is fucking crazy. They got their formula down pat. Really, I really love Reason's voice, like his tone. He has like a raspiness, but also like a smoothness that I think he can find a balance in, and turn up when he want to and smooth out when he need to. Soften it up when it's time to really talk to you and get introspective about things. Great storyteller. Very, like you said, Eddie, I agree with you how it's personal, but I also heard him speaking from a lot of other people's perspectives and shoes. Like, he found a way to flip like survivor's guilt, but speak from the other person's perspective on how, just people that are upset with him for reasons of him just trying to be the best he can, people that felt left behind, people that felt like they didn't get opportunities from him, and dealing with all of that. Trying to tie this into the whole Porches thing, like the perspectives of his own, I had it how I was gonna flip this, like the perspectives of everything. He found a way to talk about everyone in his life and himself and tie it all into kind of this one dope ass story that I really appreciate it. And I don't want to say too much. I know we got more to dive into. I don't want to ramble, but it was really good, man. He's just a really skilled artist. But I do contemplate. I'm just like, dang, I wonder what his career would be like if we heard him before Black Hippie. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Even like I say it's personal, because even like the title of the album, Porches, I the way I took that as is him sitting on the porch, and you're looking at it through a view, like his view, like everything that he sees, people coming in and out of the house, people rolling around on the street, like all of that, just like his perspective, like he's just sitting on a porch and just viewing everything, through his lens. That's why I felt like it was super personal for him on this album. Like even the album art of it was kind of like took you a deep dive into what he's really thinking. And he hit so many different topics on this album that's kind of crazy to me. That's to be the most, if I know we're talking about taking out like topics of what we're going to talk about, but like if there's one standout element, it's that. It's like he hits on so many different topics on this album. That's what I love about this album.
Yeah.
but it's still like a lot of topics, but still heading in a certain direction. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Nah, that's funny you say, because I kind of took it as like he's just like his porch was just one of many that we stopped by. In a way. Like he just like I'm glad I listened back to it so many times, because there's times where I was like, oh shit, he's not talking about himself right now. He's speaking from someone else's whole perspective and shit. And it just was like, yeah, real good, man.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. I wrote down a bunch of notes, and it was an easy listen, but I thought this album just offered like a really great controlled concept. But like you said, it's coming with so many different topics and so many different types of songs. It's kind of crazy how he was able to like stay on that wide concept, but have all of these different experiences, and how all of these stories that he's telling, just his interactions from that porch like affects these stories going forward, and it's really universal. Like I think during the album he relates to that, like New York people got stoops, and somewhere in Chicago they got some shit that's the equivalent of porch, because that's how you grew up. That's like being close to home but still being outside, and witnessing all of these things. And I just think that a lot of people in hip hop don't really do albums like this anymore, and it's been for a while. And that's not even to say like the newer artists, but I even think some of the like either older artists or like that middle age artist. I don't even think they attempt albums like this anymore too. So to see somebody attempt it and execute it so well is just it's like a breath of fresh air. That I didn't expect for sure. I didn't expect it to be so like on 10, like as far as like how he executed everything. There's just, yeah. And it's in a plain language. Like Eddie was saying before, it's an easy listen because he tells his stories in a plain language. There's not a lot of metaphors, although there are some in there, but he's able to get his point across without being too complex and stuff. It actually reminds me of old Nas or like Biggie, like how they used to tell stories where they would use plain language, but it'd be a very detailed story or like a very detailed concept like Porches is. But I do want to just go ahead and move on and get to our top 5 songs on the album. Eddie, we'll keep going with you.
My favorite, so I would put this at number 1, I would say, is Family First. That's probably my favorite song on the album. I've never heard of I don't want to butcher his name, Kalan. I mean, am I saying it right? Is that how I say it?
I'm not sure how to pronounce it, honestly.
Okay, but that was my first introduction to him, and man, it makes me even want to just go and listen to like other projects he's done, or not projects, but just other songs he's done. But that's probably my favorite song on the album. I also love I Don't Trust You. Family First, I Don't Trust You. Where I have it. Where is it at? Caucasian Estates. I love that song. You Better, Jesus Take the Wheel. I love that song as well. And then the last one, Gang Shit. Only because it's like Gang Shit was like old Reason to me, you know? With the hook and the verses, like I love like he brought you back to a little bit of like old Reason of his previous projects, but those are my 5, but my favorite song on the album was Family First.
Yeah. What do you got, Jason?
Fuck, man, this is hard. The shit was a no skipper. I like Broken Winter, the Broken Winter break. Hard. Fuck That Nigga was hard, or FTN. Bussin'. Rich Migraines. And see, you said Family First, so I want to say something different. I will substitute that.
Nah, man, put it in.
Yeah, it's your 5. It's your 5.
I'd with Afterlife. Send You to the Afterlife.
Send You to the Afterlife. Yeah, that one was dope. So I got Caucasian Estate, A Broken Winter Break, which I think I keep going back and forth between that and Family First. Family First is definitely up there, but A Broken Winter Break, that storytelling and the perspective on there is crazy. Like all the dualities of growing up in that type of environment. And I don't know if anybody out there who's already listened to it caught like the end of the first verse where he was talking about how they were about to slide on the ops or whatever the case may be. Something was very important on the porch. That's the last bar of the first verse, and then the last bar of the second verse, he says what was so important on that porch, and then it was kind of like a consequence of their actions because they weren't even thinking about that. I don't even know if it's a spoiler thing or not with the album, but basically he just said we forgot. He paraphrasing. He says, we forgot something very important on that porch. And so when they went to go do a drive-by on the enemy or whatever, he says, we forgot, or we didn't know that his little brother was on that porch. So basically they had a unwanted casualty, or, you know, that's just the effects of growing up in that environment, even innocent, you know, kids and people in the areas, and get caught up in it for the worse. Gang shit is on there. I loved how he addressed the fame status and he addressed that TDE shit like head on with the questions people be asking him and like the comments people say when he's out and all that shit. I already said Fan First, and then I love Poster Child, which is the outro where he's just fucking rapping his ass off in the album. Yeah, that shit to me was dope. But yeah,
Hey,
I'm scoring between Fan First and Broken Winter Break.
hey, can I change one of my songs now?
If you want.
I'm gonna take out Caucasian Estates and put Gina on there.
Yeah, Gina fucking on Cougar like all
Yeah.
that August Alsina.
Yeah, but the August Alsina, I thought that was so creative, bro. You know why too?
That shit was
I forgot. That song has a beat switch, and I don't know if I'm like still high off of the Utopia, but that beat switch, man, oh my god, I forgot. Hey, I low-key forgot about Gina, but then when I was looking at the track list, I was like, oh shit, Gina, I forgot about that.
Hard to
Yeah. Every time I've listened to it, there's always one of those songs like that, or like FTN, where it's like I may not have been feeling it the listen before, but then that second listen it hit a little different.
But the hook too, bro. The hook is crazy. It's like how can I say? It's like so robust, you know?
Yeah.
That shit is fucking so I'm gonna let me throw that change in real quick. I'll take out Caucasian Estates and put in.
And it's not even knocking the other tracks. Like I feel like Caucasian Estates is a given. Like I just feel like that's a guarantee.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Bussin', I feel like that's one. Family First, like I feel like those are just guaranteed. You know what I mean? So it's not even knocking the 5 that I chose. It's just like I was trying to do the deep cuts for the people to look for it.
Yeah, it's similar to the Nas Magic 2 where everything's like on an even playing field on the album. There's a couple that stand out because of production, I think, but as far as like songs in general, like everything's pretty even.
Yeah. This is one of those, the longer you sit with it, the more you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Type shit. It sit well. There's certain moods and shit. Like I like Afterlife at nighttime.
Yeah.
Just cruising.
Hey, Broken Winter too, man, with Sir. Oh, bro.
Yeah, I think that might be my favorite one. That might be that, and Family First is probably my favorite ones. So what did you guys think about the production?
Fire.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was great, honestly. Yeah, like I thought the production. I mean, I don't know, like I think when I listen to Reason's projects, like I think the production isn't the first thing that stands out. It's just it's done really well, but with Reason, it's like the totality of his work that stands out for me. So, but the production was really good, you know. It's especially on a 17 track project. Like, man, you gotta keep the listeners' ears engaged, you know. So I really did think, even like from track to track, like the production, the beat switches, as I just stated. Like, I think the production was done really, really well. So,
yeah, and he has a great balance of this like turnt introspective shit. Like he just knows how to turn the dial on and off all throughout the album, to where it's never too much, never too little. As you even wanted more. The lyric, like, and back to that TDE shit, like, you know, he sound like I don't want to say the word is deprived, but just kind of like artist that's like in a funk, just really wanting to release music, and that can be dangerous because that can be when artists want to just pile up a gang of shit off their hard drive and just send it out without too much thought, or you know, that being desperate to release music, which I think. Which you know could have happened, but that's where I think TDE comes in and they make sure that, like, you know, you're not gonna just release no type of shit. There's almost like that guaranteed seal of approval with that. You're always gonna get like a nice cohesive like piece of work. It's almost guaranteed from anytime someone from TDE drops like that. So, all right,
Yeah. Yeah. I thought the production had room for improvement for sure. I like the production. Don't get me wrong. He's got some bangers on there. He's got like a Cold Winter Break. That production, even though it's one of the slower pieces, the complexity of that beat is so dope. I just didn't. To me, I didn't think the production kept up with the lyricism. Yeah, I thought it was kind of blaringly obvious, which is a good thing. It's not a knock. I thought the production was dope.
Yeah, he's
I
not the
just
type
thought
of guy who needs
reasons.
production to save him.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I just thought that I'm hoping, because I did enjoy the last album's production a little better. I just hope that he gets the opportunity where the production matches his lyrical talent.
I think he's gonna like I said. I feel like he's, and I don't feel like the right way to say it is like a step behind, but I feel like since it's been a minute since he's got to drop music, he had to get a lot of shit off. He's playing catch up. And I'm hoping I'm right, where I feel like we're gonna get a follow-up project from him real soon. And the sound is gonna be crazy because it's gonna be more current, more what he's on. Like, I feel like he's just trying to get his tracks off. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that he did it, and he did in this really well put together album that can also stand the test of time, but also, yeah, get your shit off, bro. It's like, that's what artists want to do. They want to put out that music and shit. And when you got, TDE, that's like, hold on, we gonna do it. There's a process to it,
Long ass process.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's really all I heard in that conversation. Just like a frustrated artist that wants to move quickly, but you're in a machine. You're in a machine that doesn't miss. So it's like, yeah, like you can't do nothing but trust the process and put your chin down and deal with it. So I don't know. Like, I feel like people making that conversation more. That was a closed door conversation.
It should have been.
You know what I mean? And I don't feel like it was like dissing nobody or nothing. I just feel like you just heard. These are the people that was listening to Kendrick mixes and all that too. The same Pulitzer guy. So it's like, of course the nigga was gonna be like 10. Like, you saw the standard they keep shit at, where it was like, these niggas can't name 10 of your songs.
Yeah, but I think
I thought that was a terrible approach, though.
That was honestly, that's probably TDE. That whole spiel that happened since Kendrick left, that's probably TDE with their backs against the wall. Like all they got is SZA, and that's it, and it's like, it's almost like they felt disrespected, and they didn't want to put the blame on themselves, so instead they deflected towards the artist. And I feel like the writing's on the wall that TDE is kind of like, I don't want to say on their way out, but just like not as relevant as like, like, I don't know, I'm just gonna say like OVO or Dream Chasers or QC, or you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but
like I don't know who's on OVO or Dream Chasers.
It's like, it's almost like right now they're at a point where that's why I said there's like a pressure for this next generation, because now it's like, was it TDE or was it the artists that really got this shit and keep it afloat or keep it going?
It was Kendrick. It was pretty much all Kendrick.
So now, but then you got the same people that, I feel like they played a real big hand in that, working with, trying to develop artists now, like holding these artists to that same standard of shit. It's like,
you can't, though.
You know what I mean?
I feel like it's a mix of passionate artists, which is a good thing, passionate fans, which is a good thing, and a label trying to protect their artists.
Mm-hmm. How are they trying to protect him, though?
Because they want him to put out something that is up to whatever standard they have. Them trying to protect him, I mean, you could say it's good or bad. It worked out for SZA. It didn't work out for Schoolboy Q with Crash Talk, even though we love it. It just didn't work out commercially. So it just depends. I feel like they have an approach that they are not willing to waver on, but it really just depends on the artist. Because in that conversation, like he brought up Ray Vaughn, he brought up Doechii. I don't see Ray Vaughn selling a whole lot more than what Reason would be able to do. You know, even though Ray Vaughn's he's got some social media traction with the freestyles because his flow is insane, but I don't see that as an argument towards an artist. I thought that whole situation was poorly handled by maybe both of them, but I thought it was a lot of truth in that. And I feel like a lot of people, you know, probably should hear that from time to time, because that's a discussion that does happen behind closed doors. It happens with more than just Reason. This isn't a Reason and TDE issue. You know, I'm pretty sure every artist, especially big artists or, you know, a medium-sized artist like Reason, goes through it with their label, no matter who the label is.
Yeah. That was just, that was the artist, just an eager artist wanting to release some shit. And you heard it, like, they've had meetings and stuff, and like in the higher ups opinion, like it just, the music wasn't cutting it. But it's because they already have such a high standard of shit. Like, you heard them say that.
Yeah.
Like,
and it doesn't help.
Before. Now they are now type shit. Like, they was turning the tracks down. And
it doesn't help that SZA just did what she did too after all of that, because SZA was really the first artist to be like, I want to release shit and they're not letting me release shit. Like the TDE is the issue. She's the one that brought that up like years ago on Twitter, and they held it back. They didn't release songs, and then they dropped an album that's breaking all kind of records. It's a classic album. So that's like their I told you so. So then all the other artists, they kind of have to follow suit.
Yeah.
Because it was so successful with SZA. Now, if SZA isn't as successful, I think it's a different type of rollout. But her shit worked on like an astronomical scale.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But like the other artists that they were comparing him to, they're fire. But I don't think that was a fair assessment for why y'all weren't allowing Reason to release an album or music, period.
Yeah, the reason I saw was just like they just wasn't feeling the shit he was making at the time.
But like he said, all of the stuff that they said no to is on the album.
On the album, so it's like,
yeah. But at the same time, if this album comes out as like a song here, a song there, or 3 songs there, is it as good of a concept? Is it executed as well? No. So it's like both sides kind of have a point. You want the artist to have freedom, but also the label has to do, you know, the label work. Yeah. So, did you guys have any standout bars or verses or anything? I think we kind of I talked about it a little bit. I'll go first with the gang shit, with him addressing the TDE situation head on, and everybody asking about Kendrick. He says they're asking who gonna be the next Kenny, don't know and don't care really. I thought that was dope, because it's like, he's not worried about the next man. He's just doing what he's doing. Yeah, he's worried about what he can control. I thought that was kind of a part of like his frustration. That gang shit, he was kind of getting his frustrations off a little bit. I think he also says something about like Top is the one that signed him. So as long as he still believe in him, then it's up. So like he don't really care about even everybody else at the label as long as Top still believes in him.
That's what I was going to say. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, that verse to me, that stood out. And then the hook on Broken Winter Break, and then like we talked about with the concept of Broken Winter Break and that story, that definitely stood out for me too.
Yeah, I heard a few. I heard it was a couple bars on Too Much. Just he talked about making $80K a year and you still broke, because he was putting it all into his music and shit. I can relate to that, because as independent artist trying to jumpstart yourself, you got to invest so much in yourself and do stuff, and it's ridiculous how much you got to invest. So I just felt that. I was like, damn, this nigga 80K is still down. Like, I definitely thought about trying to get a promotion that would help things. They kind of told me like, nope, it's only gonna get harder. So, Oh, also he had a bar in there where he said, "Niggas' careers was like oven mitts. How I had a hand in it."
Yeah.
That was fire. I was like, I definitely got a perfect from that. I don't trust you. He said, I remember selling sacks to the public. Now I'm in sacks and they ain't got no budget. That was hard.
Yeah, cool little flex bar.
Yeah, a little full circle moment bar type shit. And it was a lot in there. Ray Vaughn's whole verse on Bussin' was crazy. He got in and out. Just it was all three. He wasn't really trying to like bar up crazy. On this album, it was more of like the message and the storytelling, and
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's still reasonable. You're gonna get some shit in there.
Yeah. Eddie, you got anything for that or?
No, just the one. That's the you kind of just stated it. The one where he talks about how Top is just like he's still fucking with me. I don't know if like that was a coincidence or that was after the fact, but the fact that especially when that came out, like you said, is especially if he says if he still believes in him, that's all that matters. It's probably like the only standout bar that I got. I still have to continue to like listen to it more. There's so many like aspects of the album that you have to digest in. Especially especially with artists that I even haven't heard of. So, but
yeah, it's been a while since we like. I don't know. I feel like it's been a while since an album like this with so many elements to it, because you got the overarching concept with the mini concepts for every song, and then like the personal shit, like you said, thrown in there. But I did want to move to the standout elements. I want to throw something in there. I don't know if you guys have anything, but I thought that the skits throughout the album were dope, and how they kind of pulled the album together. You had the women, you had the older guy, and then you have like some of the conversations with Reason. I thought that kind of tied in the different stories, like going from an introspective, like Hood's story, like coming up, and then going to like the woman track, and then going from the woman track to like back to some other shit. They had like some skits that tied in or like segued the tracks into each other. I thought that was real important to the flow of the album. And then that phone call that he got at the end of Call Me featuring Junie, where I guess it was like, sounded like maybe his cousin, where like his aunt told him to call him and, just check on him because he was stressed and shit like that. I just feel like a lot of those little touches add the personal element and add the relatability to it. Those were like really important to me.
Yeah. Let's talk about that little skit in the beginning where he's like, nah, hold on, nigga. Hold on, nigga.
That's the older dude.
Feel me? Like that. What do you think? Y'all, I want to say, like, what do you feel like that symbolized? Like,
I think, I mean, from what I got for it, and it might change as I listen to it, I feel like that is tying in the generations. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's tying in the older generation that went through like similar stuff, and it's kind of like a not like a like a support, kind of like a support role, like, because I don't know what he was personally like trying to do, but I just got like where he was saying, he said something, I can't remember the exact quote, but it was like, I did something, and then the old dude was like, no, we did that, we gonna take that on, we taking that on with you. It's like kind of like a support, like you're not out here alone, like we've been through it, we pushing for you to be successful, like we've been there, done that, and we just want the best for you, as like an older generation looking down. Like, I can't control what you're gonna do, but like we here for you, basically. When you
felt like it was like more of a darker tone to it though. Like,
you think so? What'd you get from it?
I don't know, like kind of he was like, nah, we gotta share that depression, heartache, this and that. Like, you start naming shit, you start hearing the sound effects that go along with it, like but then now you're starting to talk about the generations. Maybe it's just kind of like no, like it ain't that easy. You think you're not out the woods yet type of feeling. I don't know if it was the feeling of like I don't know if it was like fame talking to him in a way, or like but just kind of just this dark eerie feeling. We kind of, I don't know what to name it because it's different for all of us, but that shadowy figure that we all trying to get away from, that somehow always finds us once we think we home free type shit, you know?
Yeah,
And,
it could have been. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I thought you was done.
but like it almost felt like he got away from one shadowy figure and now he met a new one at a new level. Like no, it's here too. It's here too type of yeah.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was like a foreshadow moment and like an old head kind of knowing, you know, like I already been in those shoes, like, but you know, this is what's gonna happen. Like, this is what's in your future, but you got more than one person. It's not just I, it's we. You know, you got support. Oh yeah. But yeah, I thought all of those skits were really dope, really well put together skits, and really well executed throughout the flow of the album. I thought they were not, most of them were meaningful. Like, I don't know about I guess the female ones were meaningful, like when they were telling old girl to like break up with her nigga and give a reason, because in the song that came after it, I think, is FTN. If I'm not mistaken. So that one still also had meaning, just in a different light.
Someone's always gonna take care of us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was confused by the voice, like the voice on that, because like throughout the album, I'm kind of getting like you in the hood, you know, like you just ran away, but then like the Valley Girls starts talking. Like, I don't know if that was like after the fame or what, like the Porches was affecting his relationships even after he made it and shit like that. That's kind of how I took it, but I don't know.
Those was the rich bitches from the Valley, yeah.
Like, that's what I was thinking.
Well, I feel like the last song, Poster Child, it kind of just like cultivates everything that he was going through. Like, it's still his chase for excellence. Just how he vividly has like seen everything in his past. I think that's why that last song kind of tells you, like, I don't think this is technically him when he was like young. I think this is throughout his whole entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I took it as like his experience on the Porches and then how it affect his interactions later on. Like his life on the porch is not like him as a kid, but because he grew up in like what he saw, and like this is what's happening now, and this is how those experiences are affecting my interactions with certain people or different situations. But yeah, did y'all I think we kind of went over it a little bit. Did y'all have a favorite feature? I know you said Sir, Eddie, and then you mentioned Rayvon, Jason.
I like that Flowzig guy too.
Yeah.
I like that whole what's that song called?
Rich Mirages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said Rich Migraines. Got this.
You said Rich Migraines.
Wait, in the video? And
we're gonna run it back.
Oh, I didn't even catch that, to be honest.
Fuck, man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, either way, good shit. Let me make sure I read that nigga name right here. Flowzig. Yeah, that shit was tight. I like the beat switch up on that. That's what I like about doing this podcast. It's improving me as a listener and the perspective of things. Like, since we did the Travis Scott one, I kind of listen to shit as if the guy's gonna have a film coming out with it, and just try to really dig into the mind of like where they was trying to go with it, or try to see the picture they was painting. So that was one that I don't know, maybe probably would have skipped in the past, but I really like it now. But that hook is crazy.
I think in order for you to like really like this album, you have to resonate with it. Like you have you yeah, like you have to like if you have like no sort of attachment to this album, like I don't think it's gonna be for you.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes when people say like when uh like the label is trying to, how can I say this? Is trying to use the whole SZA formula about like, oh no, we're not gonna put these songs on the album. We're gonna wait. Like, not every artist is gonna be like a Drake. You get me? There's just some artists that are gonna like develop that little cult following, and they're gonna listen to you because they resonate with you, with what you say. So I don't know. That's why I feel like what they're doing with him isn't. I feel like they're holding him back. I feel like the more songs he drops, the better it'll be for him and his audience, because his type of music is for a dedicated few.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
and we're gonna listen to it no matter what.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think this album is really solid, to be honest with you.
Hey, but
like it's a if you go from front to back, it's really kind of like a story that's going from chapter to chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but also it's some, yeah, but I still feel like I feel like it's more than just like cult following shit. Like I feel like Bustin' is gonna break some barriers for him. Like I feel like we'll hear Bustin' on some highlight reels on ESPN.
Shit, hopefully. I would love for that
would be great
for him to happen.
Like Send You to the Afterlife, I feel like it's gonna pop up in some Netflix series shit. You know what I mean? Like a Snowfall type of vibe. Like I definitely.
But see, that's the type of music. That's the type of music that it is. Like I feel you with Bustin', but like Send You to the Afterlife, because it is so controlled, like that concept. Like you can do that with certain songs.
Yeah, I don't.
But I kind of
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I kind of lean with Eddie, where it's like I get it, and especially like they want their ROI as well. Like that's number one as far as like the business aspect. Like they got to have the ROI from their perspective. So I understand a lot of the stuff that they do, but if we're talking like the type of artist that Reason is, it's like a 80-20% chance of Reason like blowing up to be some like huge artist just because of the type of music that he makes. But you got to allow Reason to take advantage of his cult following as well too.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? You have to, because at the same time of you wanting your ROI, he has the opportunity to make money off of these smaller projects too, or like EPs if he wants to do that in between. He has opportunities to make money off of that as well, and then give you that bigger sound too.
But it's like I feel like you'll get your ROI on that because this is an artist whose cult following is constantly demanding music.
Yeah, but his cult following is not that big. It's not as big as like some. So like I'm trying to
here. I mean,
it's not a Joey Badass cult following,
or it's not even a Pusha. It's not even a Pusha cult following.
But how is
Pusha's like a bigger artist to me.
But here's the thing though. Like think about it. Like I went to go see him at a concert. Like he played at the House of Blues. You know, like the venue's not that big. You know, like that. Not even like a medium size. Like that's what I'm saying is like Pusha is a bigger artist. He is mainstream, but he has a cult following. You know, like fans no matter what will buy his music, and like I feel like we're fans of Reason, so no matter what he drops, we'll buy, because we know that even if he drops more consistently, it's always going to be solid projects.
And but that's what I say is like you have a guy who drops solid music. My thing is like, yeah, he doesn't have a cult following. Well, what the fuck he got TDE for? That's their job to spread that shit. I just don't understand
exactly
why you can't take his consistency and blow it up. I don't understand why.
Because his music isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
If it like, yeah, like I really when I like I mean like when I say like you have to like I feel like have some sort of perspective of what his experiences are to be able to attach yourself to his music. Like
But
I don't think the average Travis Scott fan will ever understand the shit this dude is talking about.
Yeah, I want to do the final rating of the album.
Yes, 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
Hey.
Solid 8.
I agree with that. Solid.
Yeah, I agree with a very, very solid 8.
Very solid
Very
8.
solid 8.
Can't even be mad at that
album. No, that's 8 is it's a great album. It's a great album, man. It's gonna continue to be not only in my rotation, but I'm like paying attention to everything. I'm not just throwing it on in the background. I'm paying attention to it in hopes to find something different.
Man,
hopes to break it down.
That's a great album to smoke to and just vibe with it.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
I done did both of that.
Thinker.
Hey, nah, Call Me. I was writing down Ocean playing Call Me. So fire.
Yeah.
So fire.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's a late night cruiser for sure. That FTN though it was my shit though. Might be my favorite one. I just like
FTN is one of those. That's what I'm saying. Like he got a couple too, where it's like if TikTok get a hold of it, like where some parts of the songs where you know how they do the 15-second clip or whatever, like he has material in there where it's like if the right people get a hold of it, then it'll just go. But yeah. It's amazing to be able to do that all within such a concentrated concept album.
Good job, man. Great job, Reason. We appreciate it.